Hey everybody, this is Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show. We are already having so much fun backstage with the Grand Canyons. Welcome, Ken and Karen. How are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
How are you, Kim Jacobs?
We have had so much fun backstage, guys, already. So you guys are in. When I say for a tremendous treat, you are in for a treat on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Right now, as we already know, the first thing is give people a chance. I just want to make sure I give you the opportunity to share the broadcast with your friends, your family, your coworkers, everybody that's anybody. It doesn't even matter. Just share the broadcast with everyone.
Don't matter. Share it with everybody.
Share it with everyone. So go ahead and take a moment to do that right quick. And Karen, this is the time you can share it as well because it's live at this point.
I think she already shared it, but I'm gonna go to my page. Can I share it from your page, baby?
No.
I can't.
No.
You don't know.
It will
They
be
are
to
a
my
fun couple.
page.
Wait till you hear about the Grand Canyons, guys. You're going to have a good time. But while everyone's sharing, make sure you know that I do want you to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show and make sure that you turn on your notifications. You can do that right on YouTube and make sure that everybody is able to be a part of the Kim Jacobs experience here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
Tag you.
Okay.
All right, so good. We're getting ready to get started. Again, welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show today. Let me go ahead and introduce my special guest that's on. And I would like to just start with Karen. Karen Canyon is a comedian, actress, and life coach. She has been entertaining and empowering people for over 20 years. She has devoted herself to helping women know their self-worth and growing to their maximum potential. Karen has traveled internationally, entertaining audiences. She has shared the stage with many greats such as Gerald Albright, Anthony Hamilton, Fred Hammond, the great Dick Gregory, and was a featured artist on the Tom Joyner cruise. Oh my God. Why didn't you tell me about that, Karen? Anyway, okay. The Tom Joyner cruise. She showed her versatility as she was featured on the Lifetime channel reality show Atlanta Plastic, TV One's hit show By Any Means, and Fatal Attraction. I can't imagine Karen in Fatal Attraction. She landed a principal role in a national Geico commercial with Montel Jordan. She is an author of the new book, I Am Simply Net, Be Simply You. That's Karen. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much for having us.
So glad you're on today.
For me. Yay. Thank you for having me.
Well, let me introduce Mr. Ken. Ken has been motivating people for over 20 years. He's a personal development coach, a branding expert who specializes in human behavior. Ken's expertise encompasses helping corporate leaders, entrepreneurs create powerful brands and teaches them how to market their brand in a crowded marketplace. As a cutting-edge entrepreneur and marketing guru, Ken doesn't just talk business, he lives it. He is the founder of 3 successful grassroots companies that have been featured in Black Enterprise, Source, and Essence magazines. He has also been highlighted on CNN, QVC, and the Home Shopping Channel. Ken has been featured in multiple reality shows, one of which was The Biggest Loser season 3. For 2 decades, he's devoted himself to transforming people's lives from the inside out. Because of his books, seminars, and social media, he is now known as a transformation specialist. He is the author of 7 books. So welcome, Ken.
Hey, glad to be here.
And together they are called the Grand Canyons. Now, that's a powerful name for you guys, the Grand Canyons. I want to be able to jump right in because a lot of people that are watching today, I can see so many comments already popping up. So people are watching across every platform, ranging from Twitch to Periscope to YouTube, Facebook. It's everywhere. And so you guys are
That's because of you, Kim.
Yeah.
Because of you. That's because of you.
That's because of y'all, because y'all shared it. So tell people about, however you want to start. Do you want to talk about individually, or do you want to talk about how you met? Because there's Ken, there's Karen, and you two were individuals, and then you came together to make this Grand Canyon. So I want people to know about you guys individually, and then take us to the Grand Canyon experience.
Go ahead.
See, he had to give you permission. Go ahead. Start.
No, I wanted her to go first. See, you started something, Kim.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why he always wants me to go first? Because he's always gonna go deep. He's always gonna go deep in on you. So he okay.
I'm not. Go ahead.
But I think we were the Grand. Well, for myself, I was a Grand Canyon before I was a Simply Net. Was I? What started first?
Simply Net started first. Simply Net started first because remember you told me you were funny, and I didn't know you were funny.
That was. I think who we are, just who we are naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He whether he's on stage or not, he's motivating somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I am on stage being a comedian, I am just funny. So I think we are just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we're the Grand. I came up with the name because to put some substance to what we're doing. So we've been helping couples for a while. Long story short, you know the video that I sent you, how $7 saved our marriage? Well, about 12 years ago, when we started helping couples, I came up with, I said, we're the Grand Canyons because everything we do is grand. Our whole thing is we want to help people live, love, and laugh. And a lot of that is being yourself in the process, just being who you are, because a lot of couples, the truth is, a lot of couples can't be themselves. Right. Some of the stuff we say.
I think that's what makes it work for us is because no matter who we are accepted from the other person, like good, bad, and ugly. We just accept each other. And yeah,
a good, bad, and ugly. I mean, she got probably more ugly, like ugly stuff than me. Just acting ugly, Kim. But you know what? I love her through it anyway.
Lies.
One last thing, Kim. How the Grand Canyons really came about when we were going through our time when we were thinking about getting a divorce.
Okay.
And the $7 saved our marriage. My wife, I call her Net. Yeah, you call her Karen. But Net, during the midst of all of this, Net said to me, one day we're going to help couples change their relationships.
And when he said in the midst, we were sitting having a discussion about ending our marriage. And in the middle of the conversation, I said, one day we're going to help couples. And he's like, can we help ourselves?
Like, how are you going to help couples until you help yourselves? That's a good point. Sure. Is that video on your website?
Yes, it's on. Yes, if you go to my website and click our YouTube channel, click videos.
Okay.
It'll pop up on YouTube. When you'll see YouTube, it's the first one.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and just share that video for a second so then people can get an idea of what the $7 is that saved your marriage. That'll give people a flavor of what happened, and then you can take it from there. So let me get that video pulled up, and yeah, that'll be pretty cool to share. So this is actually the Grand Canyons, and you can see all of the fun associated with everything that they do. They're just totally animated couple here, and they have fun. And so there are lots of videos on here that you can look at, but let's go to the video that's about the $7 that
if you go, I tell you what, Kim, go up to the YouTube, go up to go over to the YouTube icon, over to the right, all the way over to the social media icons.
Okay.
And you'll see YouTube, the YouTube one, the red one, I think it is.
Yeah.
Click that one.
Okay. This is their YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. The Grand Canyons, they give relationship advice, and it's raw and candid. So don't go there and think that you're going to get a sugar-coated situation. Overcoming breakups, signs to breaking up, surviving the breakup. It's all kinds of things that you can go on and learn about, but make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. I've already subscribed, as you can see, so I'm not a host that's saying go do something that I'm not doing. I've subscribed, and over here you can see that I have my notification bell turned on as well, and they have some of the funniest stuff on here. But let's take a look at how $7 saved our marriage.
Men give intimacy to get sex. Women give sex to get intimacy.
And I just begin to speak positive to myself. And I can tell you guys that 8 months later, don't nobody love me better than I love me.
Whenever an issue comes up, be willing to talk about it now. Don't let it grow, because everything planet grows into something.
Yes.
You just don't know what it's gonna grow into.
Yes.
I know what you're thinking. This looks easy. Nah, we just make it look easy. The truth is, most couples end in divorce because they can't agree on the smallest shit.
I mean, but we communicate differently. Because you kept cutting me off. I mean, every time I was trying to talk to that man.
I'm done with this. I'm just saying, I don't.
Conversation or putting up shirts?
Nah, I don't want to discuss it anymore.
We couldn't agree on anything. We couldn't
You
even
look
agree on
cute,
how long we
Karen.
had been together. You did not know how to receive what the other person was giving.
I think we need to start over because it's not going the way we actually had planned it to.
Well, I feel like you give it 100%.
That's what pissed me off.
I don't care about pissing you off. That ain't never been my concern. Just no, you going to just go ahead and get it. Just go ahead and get it. And don't say nothing else.
We argued about the smallest thing. I mean, the toilet being up, no gas in the car. You name it, we argued about it.
Already sick.
I asked you to do one thing.
I did
Just
it.
one
I
thing.
did it.
And then, but it took you a whole week to do it.
Look,
Every time.
Come on, Karen.
Get back with me.
Get back with you.
Yeah,
Listen,
she didn't get me back yet.
All hell broke loose. We couldn't agree on anything. Everything he said irritated me. Everything I said irritated him.
I wouldn't have asked you 20 times. If you do it the first damn time.
Oh my gosh, oh my.
So intense. And I'll never forget it. She said, you know, I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she was thinking, if we just get out of this environment, we might have a chance. So she said, let's go for a ride.
We wanted to get out of the house. We had one car at the time. So it wasn't just like I could just leave. And so I was like, well, let's go somewhere.
Truth is, I didn't want to go for a ride, but I was like, yeah, what the hell?
I know he did not want to leave. I know he didn't.
And so we went for a ride. I don't know where we were going.
And so as we were riding down the road,
I'm looking out my window. She's looking out her window. And I'm thinking to myself, this is silly. Why are we doing this?
I was being funny, but I was hungry too.
Oh,
Take me on a date. And he was like, a date?
And I was like, I ain't no money. And I looked in my pocket and I had $7.
wow.
I got $7. I don't take you on a date.
So she said, pull over in Wendy's parking lot. They have a special over there.
It was a burger, some fries, and a drink.
Go through the drive-thru. We had just enough money that $7 covered.
I said, here, let's pull over. Let's pull over and we're going to sit here.
To figure out our problems.
And at that moment, I decided, you know what? I stood before God and the people and said to death, I wanted my marriage. I loved my husband.
We sat there 2.5 hours.
Wow.
That was the best 2.5 hours I've ever spent. Because during those 2.5 hours, we came up with a system to solve our conflict.
And that's what we did. We pulled over in the parking lot after we spent that little $7.
But that $7 and that 2.5 hours in that Wendy's parking lot saved our marriage.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. So, I mean, you can go and watch the entire video. Definitely do that. But I want to make sure that you knew the $7 story. So there's even more to that goes about $7.
Yeah.
You want to go and watch that. But now $7 saved your marriage. So that was the best $7 you all spent?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And in what ways what changes did you make from that $7 date? What changes did you implement that you feel really catapulted your marriage to a whole different level?
It changed the whole way we communicate.
Yes.
The way that we talk to each other, the way that we disagree, the way that we agree. It changed our whole level of communication.
It also changed the way we handle conflict. See, a lot of times people just want to win. They just want to win the argument. And then they get so deep into it, they forgot what they were arguing about.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we decided was, when we came up with the solution, we decided, number one, we weren't going to defend ourselves. We weren't going to deflect. We weren't going to defend ourselves. And we came up with this solution of how to do it. And then we realized two things, because most times in conflict, people want to just win.
Mm-hmm.
But we said we have to do two things. Number one, solve the problem. And number two, maintain the relationship. Some people, they'll solve the problem, destroy the relationship.
Right.
Or they'll keep the relationship intact and don't solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so our goal for the 2.5 hours was, we had to solve the problem and maintain the relationship in the process. And that's what we did.
That's some good advice. So it's not even about just who's going to walk away as the champion of the fight or the debate or whatever, but to actually not focus on winning, but focus on a solution, solving the problem.
Yes.
And walking away still as husband and wife, because you've been able to maintain it.
Right. Because sometimes you win the argument, crush the other person, and there's nothing to come back to, no relationship or anything to come back to. And so we didn't want that. Our thing was, we want to fix this, but we want to be better as a couple as a result of it.
You know, and a lot of times when we argue, Ken say we want to win, but a lot of times when you argue, you feel attacked. And so when you feel attacked, the first thing you do is you attack back. And so if I'm fussing about the cabinets being open, and then he says, well, you didn't take out the trash, and I'm saying you didn't wash the dishes, and in the end it's about leaving the cabinets open. But you know, it's like you missed the whole point of the argument when you try to defend yourself. And that's why we came up with, you know, you can't. You have to listen to a person's issue, so to speak, all the way out before you can open your mouth.
It was deep, Ken.
Yeah.
When I say it was deep, it was so deep that I was like, when we first developed it, I didn't know if it would work because we were in such a bad place, but we both were committed to the process.
Wow.
And because we were committed to the process, we tweaked it and found a way to make it work. And even if we have an argument now, we've never had one that bad since then, or that many. So now we use it, but we rarely have to use it to the extent that we did.
I love that. So you were totally committed to the process. So you made a decision that you're not going anywhere. So we have to work this out.
We have to work it out. And I wasn't gonna be. I didn't want to be no miserable. I didn't want to be miserable. I know she was tired of being miserable.
Gonna leave. I said, you signed up for this, you gotta die out. Look at the small print. That's what you signed up for. So.
That's so good. So good. You're over there in the corner, you're like, y'all like it just in your facial expressions and everything. I feel like I'm watching a movie. And this is great advice that you all are sharing with people. But there are couples that may feel like they're on the verge of divorce, or there are also couples that are like, well, our marriage is not in a phase of even considering divorce. But then you still have advice for both on opposite ends of the spectrum. What advice would you give them?
Considering divorce, I would say you really have to weigh your options. You have to, when we were at that point, even though our issues looked really, really big, when I weighed everything out, we were dealing with hurt feelings. You know, that was our biggest issue. Our feelings were hurt. And so when you look at it in the big scheme of things, I just think you really have to weigh your options. Is this problem, we do the 5-5-5 rule. Is this going to matter in 5 years? If it doesn't matter in 5 years, it's not going to matter in 5 minutes. So I'm not going to give it 5 seconds. And so I think when you weigh your options like that, if this is not going to affect me 5 years down the road, I can let it go.
Wow.
That was pretty good right there.
Give me $2. Buy me a pair of shoes.
She's gonna get a pair of shoes from this interview.
I know, right?
Going to impact us 5 years from now. What else?
It's the 5-5-5. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, then it's not going to matter in 5 minutes. So we don't give it 5 seconds. We try to move on.
That's amazing. And what advice do you give couples that just want, they want to maintain? They're not on the verge of divorce. They're doing some great things and feel like they're already rocking and rolling. It's just hey, we just want to get even better.
So let me tell you what we do. We just wrote our book, and I brought it for you to. So it's not out yet. It's called The Canyon Culture. It's called Creating Relationships That Last. Yes, and in the book, I'm gonna give you some advice from in the book. One of the things we say for couples who are doing good, you have to have what we call relationship diagnostics. Okay, a relationship diagnostic is one of our core values. What that is, it's like your car. When you take it in for a diagnostic test, you want to take it in to see if everything is running good, even when the light's not on. Mm-hmm. You take it in, see if it's running good, make sure all the tubes are lubed up and everything. So you have to do that in your relationship. You have to do a relationship diagnostic often. And so what we do twice a year, we go somewhere and we do a relationship diagnostic. And what that is tell me how I'm doing. All right, what am I doing great at? What can I improve upon? What things are going to help us as a couple? Mm-hmm. And since we created the conflict resolution, we don't let it get to a conflict if she says, I want you to do this better. I wish you would do that better. But it's just maintenance. But we call it doing a relationship diagnostic.
I love it. And show the book again. I don't have the book. This is crazy. You knew you
no,
were
it's not out yet.
I should have that in my possession.
It's not out yet. It's called The Canyon Culture, Creating Relationships That Last.
Oh my God.
I know he keeps covering up my face when he showed the book, but he don't cover his face up. I just want him to know that I noticed that. Because he always want to turn it into the King Canyon show. He be trying to drop the grain. He's trying to make it. I'm sorry.
See, you know what, Kim? When you have us on the show, I hope you know what you get. Man. I hope you know. You got to take a drink.
Yeah, I just gotta take a drink.
Hey, Kim, can we do a live show called The Moment of Truth? It's a great show because it's fun and it's real too. And we have couples. Last time we did it we had dinner. It was dinner. We had live music, a jazz band, and we asked real poignant questions. And believe me, you got couples in there. And one of the things that we tell each other, the cool thing about the Grand Canyons, we don't always agree with each other, but we always love each other. Because you might find us on a video. We did a video that's coming out soon where the video went left and we just kept filming. And I'm going to put it out too. The one about The Biggest Loser. The video went left. It went left.
You want to tell
that video
a peek about it? Because I feel like I'm watching a show. So I'm watching a good show.
Yeah. So she said on the video, right? I said, well, did I ever make you feel bad when I was losing weight? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, really? And so the video started to go left. Then I was like, well, when did I make you feel bad? Then she was like, well, you thought you was all this and that when you was on The Biggest Loser. And then I said, well, I thought that was just your insecurity kicking in. And then the guy who was filming it, he just kept filming it. So when it was all said and done, I was like, you know what? Be real. We're going to put this out too. So What you
gotta
see?
throw stuff back on insecurities. You know, you share stuff where people tell you, you know, you grew up with a little insecurity here and there. And then every time something happens, you know, they just throw it back on your insecurity. They don't want to deal with the fact that they were a jerk during that time. So they just put it on your insecurity. But that's for another show.
Girl, I gotta drink some ice water on that. I got this is good stuff. Okay, so when you were, I'm not trying to pull emotion out of you guys, okay?
Go ahead.
I just want to get clarity. When you were on The Biggest Loser, you were officially trying to lose significant amount of weight. So you were performing.
I did.
And you did. And
I did.
Karen, you felt like he was trying to kind of feel himself. He was like, hey, I'm feeling where I am in life.
Yeah. It was one of those, if you smell something stinking, it's me because I'm the ish kind of thing, is how he walked around, you know.
Oh boy. Go ahead.
Hey, Kim.
What?
Now, Kim, there are two sides to every story. You do know this, right? So for me, that's not what I felt. I felt like, I'm trying to get my health back. I'm trying to because I feel like if I keep going down this path in 10 years, I'm gonna be gone. So I'm trying to get my health back. I'm working out, and everybody deals with insecurities. I mean, even myself, I'm dealing with my own insecurities, body image. And so then she giving me grief about working out, giving me grief about, because other people feeling your boy. I mean, it was feeling cheerleaders. But hold on. This is the thing you got to understand, Kim. They was feeling me when I was 420 pounds. So ain't nothing changed with that. I tried to tell her that.
The thing that changed with that.
What's what?
This.
Oh, no.
Even though he thought he was
Wait, what you pointed at?
She pointed at my head.
Oh, Lord.
She pointed at my head.
I'm like, what you pointed?
She pointed at my head. No, that's not.
Okay, even though he was hot stuff at 420.
Right.
Could you imagine the amount of weight, your total amount?
150, 160, I don't know.
Okay, could you imagine thinking you were the ish at 4-something? And then you lost 150 or 60 pounds, and then them cheerleaders started coming out with pom-poms. I'm sorry. That's another show. I'm sorry.
That's a whole different episode. Let me put some positive back on before we transition here. $7 saved the Canyon's marriage. Let's bring this into a whoosha moment instead of focusing on the weight loss.
We always have fun. That's the thing. Even we can look at things that have happened in our relationship that were maybe not so good, and we've turned them into something good because what we always do is, what did we learn from? What did we learn that can make us better? See, a lot of relationships feel like they're not going to have problems. That's not true. Like my mama used to say, if you live long enough, you stay married long enough, you're going to have some issues, and the quality of your relationship will be determined by how you're able to work through them. Like that. You'll bring me something.
That was good.
You'll bring me something.
You're gonna buy shoes, and Karen, you're gonna buy him something to eat.
I'm going to fry him old piece of tofu, because that's all we eat right about now.
Okay, this is so the Canyons believe that they always learn something from the process and the journey that just makes them better. So what I want to do is I want to go to my studio audience and give them a chance. I know lots of comments are flooding in, and I would love for you guys to, it's like almost like a speed round of, I'll flash some things up. You can address anything you want, and lots of shout outs as well. But this is an opportunity as if the studio audience was standing at the microphone. Oh, Sean said already? I don't know. Some already probably laughing.
Oh, Sean.
Already, they are starting.
Yeah.
Simply Net. She doing it.
Oh, okay.
This is when the video is probably throwing signs.
You throwing gang signs.
Come through power couple. This is a power couple.
I love it.
Cynthia Boss Lady says, laugh out loud. Whatever y'all are saying is funny to her.
That is cool.
She was speaking life into their future. This is when the video was playing.
Oh yeah, she said video was playing. Okay.
And then Janella says, the ultimate surprises of God.
Wow.
This is interesting. Shantae Jordan, Sunny Jordan says, much needed. I came on late, but I can't wait to earlier version of the show. Good advice, Courtney Jacobs says. Now, Courtney has Courtney Wellness Companion. That's my brother. And he has an app.
Wow.
He does these like crazy workouts. He's lost about 90 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Off for like 15 years or so. And
wow.
It's pretty amazing what he's doing. He tracks what he eats and he shares it on videos on Courtney Wellness Companion. So make sure y'all check that out too.
I will. I absolutely will. Absolutely.
Michaela says, how do you study to be the best spouse that you can be?
That's cool.
As far as to be the best wife, I'm just very attentive. I try to listen. I try to watch. There's certain things that he likes and dislikes, and I feel like I am here for his pleasure. I don't know if that sounds.
I like
so
that.
good.
I like that. Yeah.
So I wear my hair how my husband likes it. I try to wear clothes that attract. I mean, not when I'm just around the house, but I study him and his likes and his dislikes and his little
idiosyncrasies.
Yes.
Quirks.
That's how
I'm a quirky kind of guy sometimes. I know.
But what about you?
What I do is, honestly, and let me take it back. She wrote a book. I'm Simply That, Be Simply You. And I have tried to understand why, and I always probe, just understanding why she is the way she is. What happened to cause her to be the way she is. And now that as we've grown, I have really come to understand her. The way that I study her is I'm always asking questions. I'm always finding out. I always want to know, well, why do you think like I asked the other day, why do you like to be alone? Tell me why do you, what happens to you when you get alone and play music? Because that's her time when she wants to be alone. So I'm always probing to understand her on a deeper level. And then she explained to me when I was young, I would turn my music on in my room, I would sing, and I would be in my own world. And so when she's doing that, I don't bother her. But now I understand. So I'm always probing deeper to find out who she is and who she's becoming too. Because a lot of times we get caught up in who she was 20 years ago when we got married.
Right.
And what I want to do is probe in who she's becoming.
That's so good.
That's good.
I want to lick his face for that. That was so good.
I don't know what on that. Wait a minute. Okay, I don't know whether to get some ice water because y'all done turned it up. Good stuff here. But wow, everything that y'all are saying is just incredible. Another question came in: what causes your spouse to be who they are?
That's a very good question.
For me, I'm going to speak on myself. I think it's the acceptance from him. He accepts me exactly for who I am. So it's easy for me to be me in the areas that I shine, in the areas that he pushes me to be greater. But as far as me, I think it's because he accepts me for who I am.
Right.
Well, that's really good.
She says, what causes your spouse to be who they are? I think I'm a kind of.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just kind of piggyback on what you said. I think when you allow a person to be who they truly are, because you know how people say, I'm doing me, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do me. The truth of the matter is, in most relationships, people don't do themselves. What they do is they create an image or an ideology of what they think the other person wants. And so for us, it was all about acceptance. My number one thing in any relationship, I know they have their number one thing, trust, communication, all of these things. My number one thing, number one, is the ability for your spouse to accept you exactly who you are. Allow me to be me. Now, help me to be better, empower me to want to be better, but accept me for who I am. I mean, and so because she's accepted me for who I am, I can grow to who I want to be.
Well, that's interesting that you're saying that. And actually, one of my guests, Justine Hillier, said motivation is the key and it's important. She also said, Sean said, y'all are just too much with the turn up. Y'all are funny. But Justine Hillier said, it's important to know your partner's likes and dislikes. Then you can help them become better.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
And Sean asked, did she or he always accept you, or was it after the $7 experience that this whole theory kicked in?
That's a good question. And let me explain that. I accepted her before the $7 experience. She accepted me before the $7 experience. What the problem is, and this brings into what I just said, is you have to continue to find out who your partner is. See, what I knew about her, I accepted. There were layers to her and me that we didn't know about each other. And so that came out. And so once I found out about it, when she found out about it, there had to be another stage where we accepted each other.
Yeah, you just don't accept and it stops there. I may find out something tomorrow that I have to choose to accept, or vice versa with him. So it just doesn't stop at, I accepted you one time and this is, it just doesn't stop there.
But that's interesting that you guys are saying that, because there are, in marriage, obviously the goal is to go until death do us part and make sure that you don't dishonor your vows before God and your witnesses and everything. But then there are some things that you find out about spouses along the journey, and these are couples all along throughout the world, that you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for that. And
absolutely,
that are way beyond anything that, even if you, like you say, forgive 7 times 70, but you realize that some things are just a pattern for spouses. That's what we've observed in many different people. How do you deal with stuff like that? That this is not a person that's committed to marriage.
I think with that, you have to decide. You know what I mean?
Wow, I like that.
You got to, there's always a choice. And again, there are levels. And if you get to a level and you can't, it's like I didn't sign up, it's almost like I play Candy Crush. And it's a never ending, you're always on I thought once I got to level this, it would stop.
I'm sorry.
But it's a never ending level. So each time I get to a different level, I have to decide, am I going to continue? Am I going to lose these 5 men in this? Or am I just going to stop for a minute? So you have to make a decision that I'm in here for forever. And if forever ends tomorrow, I'm going to put his body in the freezer till his insurance policies mature. He got to die.
Kim, you heard it. You heard it right on your show. We got evidence. Oh my, Kim, you heard it. You heard it right on your show. Kim, you're responsible for what you know.
He signed up for it.
Oh Lord! But
I gotta put this disclaimer on here. I gotta say, not support the comments from Karen Canyon. Disclaimer in there.
But I think you just have to make a decision. It's marriage is not one size fit all.
It is not.
It is not. Relationships are not one size fit all. And when you get in there, you might get that dress on today, and then you put it on in 3 weeks, and it don't fit. So you have to make some adjustments. You either have to send a dress to Goodwill or, drink water for 4 days.
I look at it like this, Kim. I often say this. I say change is inevitable, but growth is optional. All right. So we're all going to change. We're all going to change. Whether we grow, it's our option. We decide. We decide whether or not we're going to grow together, whether we're going to keep learning about each other, who the person is. And so, change is inevitable. Change in a relationship, change in our bodies, change in our faces as we get older. But the growth part, that part is optional.
Right.
And you decide. Goes back to what Nick just said. You got to decide to decide. And that is profound. Because you can not making a decision is actually deciding.
Right. That's right. Another question came in: when you may not have the same vision that your spouse has, what do you do?
Good question.
You want to answer that?
Good question.
I am married to a visionary. Like, he can go to bed and wake up with 15 different ideas. But what I have to do, because I'm not a dreamer, I am a dreamer, but my dreams are not as vivid and as often as his. But what I have to do again is acceptance. You have to accept a person where they are. Because he is like that and I am not, it doesn't make you feel any way about me. I just support what he does.
Yeah. And support doesn't always mean you're involved in it.
Right.
Support simply means that you are concerned about you're into the ideas. You're wondering why. You want to know what's going on with the person, why you believe what you believe. And so she's not involved in all of my ideas and my plans. And I ask her, I might say, what do you think about this? I got this idea to do this. I want to create the Grand Canyons. I said I want to create the Grand Canyons. What do you think about that?
And I had to learn how to communicate with him about his vision, and that was something that was tough for the both of us for a minute, because when he says, have you ever thought about putting a stuffed animal in a balloon? That was one of the businesses he used to have. Have you ever thought about putting a stuff? And to me, that's a yes or no. Have you ever thought about? No.
And I used to get hot.
He would get so angry with me, and I couldn't figure out, why did that make you mad? I answered your question. But with him, he wanted me to ask, well, how would you get the bear in the balloon, honey? Would you have to climb down in the balloon with the bear? Who's going to get you out? That's what he wanted. So I had to learn how to communicate the way he communicates when it comes to his vision.
Yeah. And she's learned that. And it goes back to you're always evolving. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And we've decided to learn about each other as we grow. Now we have this thing. So, Kim, we work together at home, right? So I have ideas all the time. I can work all the time, 24 hours a day, but she cannot.
20 whole 4 hours.
So I got ideas, I'm working. And so what we did to compromise was we came up with a schedule. So in the morning, we have our devotional together. Then we have our business meeting. The business meeting lasts a certain amount of time. Whatever I want to get out during that time, I get out during that time. If not, don't discuss it an hour later.
Me tomorrow. Because listen, when you're dealing with a person that is a visionary, that's always has an idea, it might be for real 20 different ideas in a day. And hit me in the morning time with it. Hit me with everything at one time instead of all day, and that's something that you had to adjust.
I had to adjust, and I adjusted, and I'm gonna tell you why, because she explained to me why, and because a lot of us, we just say stuff, and when we say stuff, we just either expect our partner to get it, or our partner doesn't understand it, and so that's why we go into a deeper conversation. And I asked her, I said, what does that do you want to ask? And then she says, My mind doesn't work like that, and I feel uncomfortable. And then when I finally understood it, I stopped asking.
Right.
But I will ask during the time we meet.
Well, and that's good during the time that you meet, because that's the designated time that you guys have agreed upon, that this is the time for us to cover this. And that's something that I'm a big believer of. Schedule an appointment so that it's not constant attacking, or we're driving down the street and you're talking to the side of, I'm big on, if I wanted to have a conversation, I would just go at any given time. And my husband would say, listen, we need to have like a set appointment time to discuss this, so it's a neutral place and we're both mentally prepared to discuss that topic. It makes a huge difference if you're able to focus on, this is now the issue and I welcome it and invite it and I'm prepared for it. So anyway, so Michaela says, how do you encourage someone to work on a certain area in the fruit of the Spirit?
Good question. I'm gonna answer that. So a lot of times we go to our partner, we have to ask ourselves, are we going in our flesh? Or are we going in the Spirit? Now, how do you know the answer to that? You know the answer to that is, all you got to ask the question, that whole thing, what would Jesus do? That's profound. Because a lot of times when I go to that, I ain't going in Jesus' name. I'm going in Kitty's name. And I'm like, what the bleep? You know, I know that. And so I know that is not of the Spirit. So what we have, so now though, I've gotten a lot better. Because I used to be real, I used to have an anger problem. Not an anger problem like hitting my wife, because I ain't never touched my wife like that. But I've never touched, but I used to get mad about like stuff, just little stuff. And now I don't. I don't now, because I put it in perspective, and here's why. What I said was, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, is what I'm feeling, is this based on God's Spirit or is it my spirit? And if you ask the question, would Jesus go to his wife like this? What I'm about to say, like on that video that we did, that you $7 saved our marriage. That's how we used to. That's how I used to talk.
Not we.
Well, she talked a lot like that too. Don't get it twisted.
No, because I am more. I shut down. I retreat.
And then you drive off in the car that I bought you. You drive
off. I will drive off in the car, but I don't like to speak out of anger. Now that's what I don't like to do.
Until you get extra mad.
Like you have to push me. I'm like almost falling off the porch. Like that's the only way I can save myself. But Ken used to use words that hurt, and so that I don't know when that changed. It's been many years. I cannot, because I think that was before the $7 story, because it was all about winning.
Right.
Yes.
It was all about winning an argument. And you can never get the point across like that.
Right. Yep. And once I changed, I wanted to come more in God, in the Spirit, because I knew that if I came like that, that wasn't of God. That wasn't of God's Spirit to come like that. Because you know how I know? Because when I left, it made her feel bad.
Right.
And I know that wasn't God's Spirit. That wasn't a fruit.
And I think since then, like I said, I've always been a retreater, but since your communication the way that you communicate with me has changed, I open up more. I talk more. We can talk things out. Things don't linger. I don't go in my corner and pout or, angry or shut down. I'm able to tell him how I feel.
Good.
And something else that we do, we validate each other's feelings, whether we agree with them or not.
Yes. That's the one thing we learned at the $7. And that was the one overarching thing. And that taught me this. And she said, if a person feels it, it's valid. Doesn't make it true or false. I got caught up in, is it true or false? When a person feels it, it's valid. Doesn't make it true or false. And so I had to validate that she felt it, that was real. Doesn't mean that what she was saying was based in fact, but I had to validate the emotion and then accept that we have to deal with it.
That right there, what you're saying is some good feedback for people. So I'm just I've typed everything that you guys have been saying, and I want to make sure that I give people an opportunity to know that this week's sponsor of the Kim Jacobs Show has been sponsored by Sean Hall. She's actually the
Hey, Sean.
yes, she sponsored this week's edition of the Kim Jacobs Show, and she is the new author of Prepare Now, Don't Pay Later, a roadmap to debt-free higher education, guided by someone who has walked the path 3 times. Sean Hall is able to help young people go to school, and I don't want to say 100% debt-free, but in a lot of instances, debt-free. And I can speak from personal experience that she's been able to help our son. As recent as the last week, he received a $5,000 scholarship thanks to Sean Hall.
Yes.
And with All Roads Education. So if you are interested in being a sponsor on the Kim Jacobs Show and sponsoring a one-time for 30-second commercial that you put together, or if you want to sponsor the full week, you can definitely reach out to me at kim@thebalancedoctor.tv. And I am excited to let you guys know that on Monday at 11 o'clock a.m., we're going to have Don Whitty with 7 powerful words. So make sure that you tune in on Monday as well. These are just some of the housekeeping announcements because I want to end with you guys sharing some good nuggets. So the Kim Jacobs Show is seeking summer college interns for college credits only. Make sure we know that it's college credits. We're looking for an editor, a graphic design artist, 2 social media content developers, and 2 broadcast journalism, digital media representatives. And so please make sure you share your interest by emailing kim@thebalancedoctor.tv. And I would like to invite everyone at noon today to come to the Quest Church prayer line. Pastor Jacobs does a prayer for everyone impacted with this COVID-19 situation. So people that are infected with the disease, people that have passed away, that family members weren't even able to be with them as they transition home. You have frontline workers, essential workers, all kinds of people that are dealing with just being home and isolated, home alone with their spouses, or you name it. And some people like that, some people don't like that. So there's a lot of prayer taking place. You can go to 978-990-5000. The access code is 322083#. So, okay, I said a whole lot. What final?
Good job.
Thank you. What final things would you say to people that are watching today? Just something that you say, you know what, if I could leave you with this word, these words of encouragement, what would it be?
I'll let Ken leave with the words.
I would just simply say this, that if you have to fundamentally change who you are to be with someone else, then that's not the person for you.
Wow.
That's the piece of advice I'd like to give.
Wow. And I'd like to say to that, if you have to change who you are to be with someone else, then who are you? You know what I mean? It's like do you love
Say
you?
that again.
I said, if you have to change who you are to be with someone else, then who are you? You know, you get what I'm saying?
No, I do.
It's, you know, love yourself first. I guess it's what I want to say. You know, love yourself first, and then you won't feel the need to.
Wow. I am thoroughly impressed with everything that you guys have shared today. If you have to change who you are to be with someone else, then who are you? Love yourself first. That's some good stuff. Now, nobody got to even see the Simply Net side of you. I did throughout the whole broadcast here, but you do comedy, Karen. So tell us how can people get in touch with you, hear your comedy? I've heard your comedy, and it is some of the funniest, clean comedy that I've ever heard. I don't like going to everybody just going in and being negative and cussing the whole time during their whole show.
Being that, yes.
You know, I do what I do so that everyone, we have grandchildren. I want my grandchildren to be able to go and repeat my comedy. You know, but for the most part, I want God to be pleased with what I do. I want at the end of this day, you know, because laughter was designed to heal, to deliver, and to set free. And if I'm knocking you down, or if I'm saying negative stuff on stage, who's going to be delivered? Right. You know, who's going to be set free and who's going to be healed? So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, so at the end of the day, I think as long as God is pleased with what I'm doing, you know, I will continue. I have to be funny. It's just who I am.
And how do people? I was going to say, how do people get to?
How can they get me? They can go on actually the GrandCanyons.com.
Oh, okay.
And I have my own, but that's probably the easiest, best way to get me, or on social media, Comedian Simply Net, and Simply is spelled with an I and not a Y. SIMPLINET.
Okay, I love your comedy, love it. Comedian Simply Net. And if you ever want to come and just do, right now people are still shut in, they're staying at home and they're trying to figure out how they can be entertained and different things. If you ever want to come on and just do one straight comedy show and just
let's talk about it.
It would be fun. Because I would love to laugh. I don't mind laughing. It's weird because my husband's like, Kim, okay, you need to laugh more. And I don't mind laughing, but it's like not much is funny. I'm not going to just laugh just to be laughing if it's not funny. You know?
I'm just not going to give you no free laugh. You just not getting no free laugh.
No, it's stupid. It's like some stuff's not funny. It's like that's not good humor. That's ignorant, you know?
Right.
So I'm not gonna just bust out laughing. And then people when they laugh, I don't know if they're laughing at me because I don't think I'm funny, but then it's like people are laughing. I'm like, am I saying something funny? But they might be just laughing at me. I don't know what's happening. So what were you gonna say, Ken?
No, nothing. I was just gonna say thank you. Thank you for having us. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much for being on. Again, if you can, go back and just check out all of the comments because there's been a lot of comments that came in. Make sure, guys, you know that on Monday, I already shared with you my guest that'll be on. And next week, next Friday, we're having a birthday show in honor of my 50th birthday. And I'm super excited.
I'm going to definitely do it in.
Yes. Gemini season.
I'm so fired up. I'm not putting it together. Someone else is. Sean is working on that, and Cassandra. So I'm excited, and I cannot wait to see the Friday show. I'm so fired up about that. I turned 50 on May 31st, and I am.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Happy early, whatever. I'm excited for you.
I'm so grateful, but I am so honored that you guys took the time today to be on the Kim Jacobs Show. Make sure you all know that you can get in touch with the Grand Canyons and they will respond to you by going to grandcanyons.com. It's so much information. Also, don't tell them about the cards. You didn't tell them about your games.
Oh, so we created 2 relationship games called The Moment of Truth. And they're basically games where people not only can have fun, you can play with couples, individuals. And the truth of the matter is we created these games because we wanted people to get to know each other in a fun.
Why you keep blocking me out? Go ahead.
Oh, there's a camera right here. And then look, and we created a sex version too. Okay? Sex version. So if you go to Grand Canyons, you're gonna love that game. Love it.
Regular version.
And then people quarantined in, they need to play that game.
Oh my God. And
me and Ned played it. I'm gonna leave you with that.
And how can they get it? How can they get it?
GrandCanyons.com. Go to shop and you'll see the game called The Moment of Truth.
What? On that note, everyone, we are definitely going to end. Thank you, Grand Canyons, Ken and Karen, for being on the Kim Jacobs Show. This has been a great treat, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.